Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bipolar Talks, your safe, mindful space where we explore the ups, downs, and in-betweens of bipolar disorder with honesty, compassion, and curiosity. Whether you're here because you live with bipolar, love someone who does, or are just learning, thank you for showing up. You're in good company. Before we begin, take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode if it resonates with you. These simple actions help this conversation reach more people who might be quietly struggling and need to know they're not alone. Today's topic is one of those raw, real conversations we don't have often enough. We're talking about the 4 worst mood stabilizers for bipolar disorder. Not prescribed medications, but substances many people turn to for comfort, control, or escape. Sometimes it happens consciously, other times it's completely unintentional. But the pattern is real, and more common than we think. And here's the most important thing. This is not about judgment. This is about understanding. Because when we understand what's really going on, we can begin to heal. Have you ever found yourself reaching for something, anything, to make the pain stop or to feel more normal? Let's talk about it, gently and honestly. 1. Opioids. When the cure becomes the cage. Let's begin with opioids, prescription painkillers like oxycodone, hydrocodone, or morphine. These medications are incredibly effective at managing physical pain, and when used carefully under a doctor's supervision, they have a place. But for many people living with bipolar disorder, opioids can become a hidden form of emotional self-medication. Why? Because opioids flood the brain with dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. That surge of dopamine can feel like instant relief from emotional turmoil, anxiety, or numbness. For some, this leads to a kind of euphoria, a false calm, even hypomania. Suddenly you feel better. Finally. But it doesn't last. And the cost is high. Dependency can start in just a few days. The body adapts quickly, and then you need more to get the same effect. This cycle spirals fast. Eventually, your body needs opioids not to feel good but just to feel normal. Over time, opioids can damage your liver, kidneys, and even your heart. They can increase your pain sensitivity, meaning you actually feel pain more intensely than before. That includes both physical and emotional pain. I'm not speaking abstractly here. I've been through this. I've seen what it does. It almost killed me. And coming back from it took everything I had. If you're someone who's living with chronic pain and requires pain medication, please don't feel shamed. This is not a one-size-fits-all story. But if you're using pain meds as a way to feel better emotionally, pause. Talk to your doctor. There may be safer ways forward. Have you ever felt like something that helped you at first slowly started taking over your life? Let's keep going. 2. Benzodiazepines. The pill that whispers then shouts. Next, we have benzodiazepines, commonly called benzos. Think Xanax, Ativan, Klonopin, Valium. These are anti-anxiety medications prescribed for everything from insomnia to panic attacks to general nervous system overload. Sound familiar? For many of us with bipolar disorder, these prescriptions have been in our cabinets at one time or another. And let's be clear, they can be incredibly effective in the short term. If you're stuck in a panic loop, or your mind won't slow down enough to sleep, a benzo can feel like a miracle. I've been prescribed all of them at different points in my life. But there's a catch. Benzos are highly addictive. Their calming effect can be so seductive that it becomes something you crave. Not just in moments of crisis, but daily. Sometimes hourly. They work on the GABA receptors in your brain, basically, the part that tells your nervous system to calm down. But over time, your brain forgets how to do that on its own. So when the medication wears off, anxiety comes back, often worse than before. That rebound effect is real and terrifying. The withdrawal symptoms? They're no joke. Irritability, panic, insomnia, tremors, it's brutal. For me personally, benzos felt like emotional anesthesia. And for someone who's already wired to chase relief from emotional pain, it was a dangerous mix. I abused them. And I told myself it was fine, after all, they were prescribed. But that's the illusion. Legality doesn't mean safety for every person. Have you ever convinced yourself you had control? only to realize something else was steering the wheel? It's okay. Let's breathe and move on. 3. Alcohol, the friendly foe. Now let's talk about a substance many people don't even consider a drug. Alcohol. It's part of parties, dinner dates, family events. It's everywhere. And it's easy to believe a drink here and there is harmless. In fact, I used to think it was actually helping me manage my symptoms. It felt like it took the edge off, slowed my racing thoughts, or calmed my anxiety. But here's the truth that crept up slowly. Alcohol doesn't help us manage bipolar disorder. It masks it, destabilizes it, and over time magnifies it. Statistically, people with bipolar disorder are 60% more likely to develop a drinking problem. That's a shocking number. But when you think about the emotional roller coaster we live on, it's understandable. We're looking for relief, for something that evens us out, for control. The sad irony is that alcohol often makes symptoms worse. It lowers inhibitions, triggers impulsivity, increases depressive episodes, and throws manic symptoms into overdrive. Not to mention it can block or weaken the effects of our mood-stabilizing medications. I look back at my 20s and honestly, it's all a blur of psych meds and alcohol. I couldn't make progress because I was numbing the very feelings I needed to process. I wasn't healing. I was hitting pause on my life. Have you ever used something to escape, only to realize you were running in circles? Let's talk about one more big one. 4. Stimulants. Fast forward into chaos. And now we get to stimulants, a category that includes drugs like Adderall, cocaine, meth, and even large doses of caffeine. These are the uppers. And for someone dealing with bipolar depression or low motivation, stimulants can feel like flipping the on switch. You feel alive, focused, energized, hypomanic, invincible. I've tried all of them in my past. And I'll be honest, they worked. Until they didn't. What stimulants do is amplify everything. That means yes, you get the motivation, the energy, but you also get the impulsivity, the paranoia, the rage. You crash hard. And sometimes the crash is so deep, you find yourself spiraling into a depressive pit darker than where you started. And here's something a lot of people don't talk about. The emotional flatness that comes when the drugs wear off. Everything feels dull, lifeless. That creates a craving not just for the high but for any feeling at all. It's a dangerous cycle. One that's all too familiar to many in the bipolar community. Have you ever felt like you were constantly swinging between extremes and couldn't remember what stability even felt like? Let's wrap this up with 2 final reflections. Bonus mentions marijuana and food. Helpers or hindrances? We can't end without talking about marijuana and food. 2 things that came up a lot in our community. Let's start with marijuana. This one is polarizing. Some people swear it helps their symptoms, calms anxiety, improves sleep, softens mood swings. Others say it triggered panic attacks, paranoia, or even psychosis. I don't take a strong stance either way, but here's what I will say. If you've never used it, and you live with bipolar disorder, it's okay to be cautious. Your brain chemistry is unique, and marijuana affects each person differently. Now let's talk about food. For many of us, food is deeply emotional. When I'm depressed, I reach for sugar and carbs like a lifeline. When I'm manic, I forget to eat, or binge late at night. Some meds increase appetite, others kill it. Food becomes not just fuel, but a form of self-soothing, or self-sabotage. Eventually, I'll dedicate an entire episode to nutrition and bipolar disorder. There's so much to unpack there. But for now, just know, you're not weird or weak if your relationship with food feels complicated. You're human. Do you notice how your cravings, appetite, or energy change with your moods? That's a powerful insight. Let's close with compassion. So there it is. Our deep dive into the 4 worst unofficial mood stabilizers that often creep into the lives of people with bipolar disorder. Opioids, benzos, alcohol, stimulants, and yes, even marijuana and food can sometimes feel like lifelines, but they often come with hidden weights. If any of this felt familiar, I see you. I've been there too. And I want you to know, it's never too late to choose a different path. Healing isn't about perfection. It's about noticing the patterns and choosing a new way forward. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode helped you reflect, please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You never know who might need this exact message today. Disclaimer: this video is for informational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always talk to a licensed mental health professional before making changes to your care or medications. Until next time, stay mindful, stay curious, and take care of that beautiful brain of yours. You're doing better than you think. This is Bipolar Talks, signing off with love.